Our final quarter for today is going to be Chit Chat with Manoj. Here, the host is our well-known Mr. Manoj Singh, who is the founder and CEO of Caesar Productions. Chit Chat with Manoj has become a household name. Here, Mr. Singh shares with you a world of experience that educates you, and his quote, of course, "Be happy as life is short." Who is Mr. Singh's guest today? I don't know, but we will discover it together.
Welcome to Chit Chat. I'm Manoj Singh. Hello, Adab, Namaste, Sat Sri Akal. Today on the show, we are going to talk about an interesting topic, person worship. Why do people have infatuations for actors, politicians, gurus? And joining me for this discussion today is Nitin Adsul. Welcome to my show.
Thank you.
He's a IT consultant, a full-time filmmaker, and a lifestyle coach. He also gives seminars on Kundalini. Simply put, basically in South Asia, as we all know, that people have obsession with particular actor. They follow him through or her, and they watch every movie of his or her. They have, obsessions, and they keep pictures of them and all over their bedrooms, or some are even infatuated by politicians and some gurus. They elect, and we must have seen in India that you keep electing the person from the same family, generation after generation. And now even in the Bollywood industry, a lot of the sons and daughters are into movies. And so what is behind this, that people are so obsessed with this kind of these kind of personalities? What do you think, Nitin? What could be the reason?
Interesting. There is nothing really wrong to follow someone, but when it becomes like a continuous thing, something becomes questionable. But I think media. One thing is the media that is always putting and hammering in front of people that this is the person, this is a great person. And second thing is people are also restless. People are unsecured, and they want to live a life that they see in other person, smart person or politician or a filmmaker or an actor, and they want to live that life, but because they're unsecured, because they are not really living it, they just follow other people and hoping that they will somehow mirror or somehow feel that connection with this person. So I think it's a false following, false obsession. And how it will change or why it is happening, it's because of the media, because of the people's insecurity. But once a person feels that he's strong enough to do something in life, I think that will let
I think it's
die.
a very good point. And some of the things I read, and I spoke to one of my psychologist friend, and she mentioned a couple of things, and I read on internet as well, is a peer pressure. Some of it is in our society. If some people want to do particular thing, then the rest of them follow. Some has to do, and that was dealt very nicely in this movie PK. It's fear of something. Or always looking for something more when it comes to materialistic things or power or ego. And another thing she mentioned, need for attachment. Something like, and you mentioned something lacking, I think, in their own life, that they are so obsessed with someone else's life. And one of the biggest thing, another thing in India is fair complexion. They're obsessed with it. I mean, all these creams are about being fair and lovely and all, how to be more fair. I think that came maybe from the Western world or the Britishers, or we thought that if you're a Gora, then you're more superior or well liked. In fact, even in my own home, I mentioned, and I won't, of course, say who, that Obama's eldest daughter is very beautiful, and the first reaction was, is she black? And said, what do you mean by that? Black cannot be beautiful. So things like that.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's a contrast that people are always attracted towards, right? And mostly India and South Asia is all brown. So we always have that fair complexion.
So particularly in Asia, also we see, it's around my even own town in MP, that some big politician dies, including my own friend who was a politician. And the first thing is that, oh, let's give the ticket to his son or daughter, because even the politicians expecting that we'll get this sympathy vote. So there
Yeah.
seems to be a lot of sympathy as well.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is so?
Well, sympathy is there, and as you mentioned before, the power that any politician died, or there is a big procession, there is a bun and all, but it's because of the power that politicians have put and the fear that they have put inside.
Yeah.
So at some time, I feel in India or in South Asia, people are too good, too more than they should be, and that's why if somebody dies, particularly somebody from the bigger families, or they just over respect to them and react too much than they should be.
Yeah, and as we know, and I don't want to mention the name, everyone knows in the central which that family is.
Yeah.
Whether the son or the daughter even are qualified, I mean, they don't even look at their resume or have a debate that whether this person can even lead us. Does they have the leadership?
Yeah.
Is he honest?
Right.
But just so happens to be that name, so let's give it to him or her.
Yeah.
And I think all the factors which we talked about is in the personality, I guess.
Right.
People look up to famous people, rich people, or who have power. And I think, does it have to also do with, I think it is connected with levels of society, how we look at people.
Yes, that's true.
The caste system and the name brand goods. If you're wearing expensive stuff, then you must be nice.
Right. It's as you said, the levels in the system, medium class, lower class, rich people, and the caste system also adds a lot. And we think the caste system is eliminated, but it's not. People still look at you by your last name. Oh, well, your last name is this. That means you must be this.
Yeah.
And then they right away their impression about operations towards you changes.
Yes.
And so, caste system was meant for some good reason to give duties, particular duties to some kind of people. But now it's all turned reverse, and then it's becoming a power game because of that. So yeah, I definitely think that is major reason, one of the major reason. And as you said, the generations and generations are ruling, and people just are blind to not really question those.
Correct.
And
yeah, I mean, especially in South, if you say all these were actors and now they're chief ministers and gods, and if you even say anything negative, you are looking for a really bad time.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much of obsession. There must be a good reason for that. I don't understand it. Being in America and the way being rational.
Yeah, but it's also the game that they like to be in, because if they think that this person is going to take care of them, give them the money, shelter, or whatever it is, they will just keep doing that life.
Correct.
Because in India, there are a lot of people who are poor, medium class.
Correct.
They need to survive.
Yeah.
And if their needs or whatever, if their votes
Can be
are
met.
being taken by paying them money, they will continue to do that.
Correct.
So I think the grass level education has to be done to wake up their minds.
Yes.
Really, come on.
So I think what you're saying is not to do with education also, the literary rate. But when it comes to religion, I've seen is andhavishwas, blind faith. Even I've seen well-educated PhDs and all, even in US, some Indians, they're very religious and they latch on to one of the gurus or Shirdi Ka Sai Baba or someone. Sometimes I feel like when I go to my village, even actually the non-educated are more rational and they question everything. So is there any relationship?
Well, if I had to answer the question on Andhashraddha, definitely there is Andhashraddha. There is a superpower, there is a universal power. We know our universe is operated so well.
Correct.
There is some power. But some people, gurus, or think they take advantage of that and again take the power. Their power actually, people surrender to their power too much. So that has to also be one of the reasons that people, just latch on to their personalities, than what they really want to say. I think the educated people who are, are, following the Andhashraddha, that is wrong, definitely. I'm not saying that there is no power. There are some people who are really enlightened. They are spiritually very at high level and can talk and really send the message of God. But if you look at that person as God, then it's a wrong thing. And you should not be praying like that and surrender and follow that.
Yeah, and some of the things I also read was like, as human being, we are vulnerable. So it's very easy to lose control.
Right.
I mean, if you're influenced by someone like, Rajneesh, Bhagwan Rajneesh.
Yeah.
And also, people don't know how to deal with during the hard times.
Correct.
So they are always seeking for some help, and
Right.
and they're looking for someone to latch on to.
Right.
And
that's the point where the person they latch on to can take advantage of that.
correct.
And that's why the people who are going through hard time, there has to be a guru who really help them, then taking advantage of them.
Correct.
And that's the problem. People are unsecured, and then they don't know hard time what to do, and then just lose.
And especially in the lower middle class and the poor, I feel really sorry for them. They don't have any help. The police is not with them. They are afraid of police, that if I get involved, it might be more of a headache.
Yeah.
The justice system is not with them, because the cases take long years to be even solved or even get justice.
Right.
So everything is like Bhagwan Bharose.
Yeah.
So I think they keep going back to the God thing.
Yeah. They have to be karma yogi. They have to do their duty,
Yeah.
action put, and I think the government and everybody should support that.
Now, having said all this, there is also a positive aspect of person worship. You can have a role model. You can have a role model as Mahatma Gandhi, Michael Jordan if you're into basketball, or Bill Gates in our IT career. I mean, he's such a nice human being. I mean, after all this he's achieved, he does so much in the world, good, and very down-to-earth person, still him and his wife.
Right.
So there's a lot of good reasons also for following, but I think, where is the gray line? I think if a person starts spending too much time on internet or following a guru or doing puja whole day, I think that's obsessive compulsive behavior, and that should be dealt with. I think they need counseling.
Yes, they don't have to forget what they are.
Correct.
Every person has the power, has the inner strength.
Correct.
Of course, as you said, role model, you follow what they are good at.
Correct.
Try to be like that, but just don't follow them. Just don't forget about yourself.
Yes.
Put into action yourself there too.
So I would again mention, because I really love the movie, it had, this time I saw clearly bold messages, the movie PK, and it deals with some of the things which we talked about, fear, not believing in the middleman, which is the guru, that they'll take you to the God.
Right.
I also believe there is some super being. I do pray myself, I mean, for a few minutes, say a short prayer.
Yep.
Think about it, like I agree with Nitin, step back, feel confident, be proud of yourself, seek a goal and go for it, and be rational when you're thinking about voting for someone, following a guru, or believing in religion. And I think you'll find your own answers. I think it is common sense.
Absolutely.
So thank you very much. Thank you, Nitin, for coming on the show. And I'll end this show with a quote. It's an anonymous quote. Do not get obsessed or it will possess you. Very well said. So thank you all the best. Like I always say, life is short, have fun. Goodbye and all the best.